just after 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, December 5th, and you're looking at a live shot of Space Launch Complex 40, where the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket is about to launch our Dragon spacecraft to the International Space Station. Liftoff is targeted for 1:16 p.m. Eastern Time, or 18 hours, 16 minutes, 16 seconds Universal Time. I'm John Isbrecher, and I'm the Falcon Principal Integration Engineer at SpaceX, and I'm thrilled to be here with you to cover our 16th cargo resupply mission for NASA. Now we're just inside T-minus 14 minutes and counting, and all systems are currently go at our launch site at Cape Canaveral and here at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California.
Here at SpaceX headquarters, my name is Tom Perderio, and I'm a firmware engineer here at SpaceX. And joining us today is NASA Public Affairs Officer Stephanie Martin. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's great to be here in Hawthorne and to be a part of the webcast for the 16th SpaceX Cargo Resupply Services mission to the International Space Station. Our partnerships with SpaceX and other American companies are vital as NASA prepares to send astronauts on deep space exploration missions. Today, we have a lot, literally tons, of exciting science loaded into the Dragon at the launch pad. SpaceX will deliver almost 6,000 pounds of cargo to the space station, including materials to support dozens of the science and research investigations, but we'll be going into that a little bit later in today's webcast. As I was telling Tom earlier, the International Space Station has been orbiting the Earth for about 20 years now. And of those 18 years, we've had astronauts conducting research on the International Space Station. That means today's high school students have never lived a single day in their life where we haven't had astronauts conducting groundbreaking research in space.
It's kind of crazy to think about. Back when I was in high school, they had barely finished the very first crew expedition, and the truss wasn't even built. So to think we had human presence in space for that long is awesome. This will actually be SpaceX's 20th launch of 2018, and we'll be launching a flight-proven Dragon spacecraft today, which visited the International Space Station once before in crs-10 mission back of March of 2017. Both Falcon 9 and Dragon were designed with reflight in mind, so the vehicle
lab payloads represent a diverse group of research investigations, all of which are intended to benefit life here on Earth. Let's take a look at some of that groundbreaking research from cases that will be aboard this crs-16 mission.
SpaceX's 16th resupply mission to the International Space Station is primed and packed with an incredible amount of research that has the capacity to benefit life on Earth. More than 20 payloads are sponsored by the U.S. National Laboratory on the International Space Station. Let's get an idea about some of those payloads that are associated with this mission. Budweiser will send its third experiment to station with implementation partner Space Tango. This payload will examine the steeping, germination, and kilning processes associated with malting barley. Results from this research could help the company develop new malt barley varieties that are more tolerant to extreme stress environments. Corrosion can lead to inefficiencies in products they have developed to treat wounds and reduce the occurrence and severity of sepsis. This launch represents a diverse mixture of science that has the capacity to benefit life on Earth while leveraging microgravity. To learn more about all of the payloads associated with this mission, please visit issnationallab.org and go Dragon.
This is just a small sample of the dozens of research experiments that Dragon will take up to the International Space Station. You can follow along using @space_station on Twitter for more information on the exciting microgravity research happening there.
We are coming up on T-minus 5 minutes and continuing a countdown for launch in our 1-second window. On these last few minutes, Falcon 9 is performing final checkouts to make sure all the primary systems will work in flight. We're covering propulsion, communications, avionics systems. Now currently at T-minus 7 minutes, we began the engine chill-in. Valves that previously were closed were opened. That allowed fuel and liquid oxygen to flow out of the propellant tanks down to the turbo pumps. That cold liquid oxygen chilled in the turbo pump on each of the 9 Merlin first stage engines. We might hear an announcement in the countdown a little later on that the engines are sufficiently chilled in for launch.
also complete. Vehicles on internal power.
Ground gas closeout starting. Ground gas closeout's complete.
Dragon is in startup. Falcon 9's in startup. Stage 2, press for flight.
Go for launch.
Stage 1's at startup pressures.
Minus 15 seconds.
And Falcon 9's configured for flight.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition, liftoff. Vehicle is pitching down.
35 seconds into flight, we've had a great liftoff from Space Launch Complex 40. Falcon 9 powered under the thrust of 1.7 million pounds. We're coming up on throttle bucket, preparing for maximum dynamic pressure. Propulsion reports that we are on target, throttle down, getting ready to pass through max Q.
Vehicle is supersonic and experiencing maximum dynamic pressure.
We're passing through the range where aerodynamic loads are greatest on Dragon Falcon 9. The Merlin engines are now throttling back up. Propulsion reports the first stage systems are nominal. Great views from the cameras here. The blue skies, a nice daylight launch, showing Falcon 9 with Dragon headed downrange. Call out for MVAC engine chill. That means we are now chilling in the LOX turbo pump on the upper stage engine, getting ready for its ignition about 2.5 minutes into flight. Great view looking back from the first stage camera. Cape Canaveral in the background as we head northeast towards the International Space Station orbit. Next major activities coming up in about 25 seconds. We'll have shutdown of the 9 first stage engines. We'll get stage separation and ignition of the second stage to propel Falcon 9 and Dragon into Earth orbit. We also hope to see on the left side the first stage flip around and light 3 engines to begin the path of coming back to landing zone 1 at Cape Canaveral.
Eco.
Successful stage separation, ignition of the upper stage engine. We've also seen the first stage has done its flip maneuver and the boost back burn has begun. We have lit 3 engines on the first stage. That's reducing the forward velocity and will be bringing it back towards Cape Canaveral. Shutdown of the boost back burn is coming up in about 10 10 seconds. Second stage continues to look good on power. On the right-hand side, you may have seen an object passing the nozzle of the upper stage engine. That's the Dragon nose cap that's generated at this point in flight. We've heard the call-out shutdown on the boost back burn. First stage has completed the first of 3 planned burns that will result in return to landing zone 1 on Cape Canaveral, just a few miles.
Engines to slow itself down as it hits the denser regions of the atmosphere. You can actually see on the left-hand side of your screen, that is Cape Canaveral and the coastline of Florida. You can see that first stage is oriented towards Cape Canaveral and currently about to decelerate. That re-entry burn will be happening in 30 seconds. In addition to those re-entry burns, you actually saw some